Well, it says I'm live. See, I like going on YouTube because it's I'm live at my age. I wonder if I'm waking up or it's just another dream. You never know with all the fake news around nowadays that this may not be my real life. Maybe I'm in a dream somewhere. Actually, it feels like that sometimes because I'm so grateful and happy for what I do. But I didn't go live. Well, I got to put off exercising soon. I probably won't do it this afternoon, so I'm going to do it live outside. So I'm live inside. What the hell? Live is live, right? And it's a beautiful day though. Maybe a little windy, and that gets a little screwed up when I'm outside. But here's what I want to cover today. Look at this. It's all about what held up rental aid, locating those in need. I mean, we have so much grant money available for everybody in rental aid. They're not giving it out. Yeah, and this is happening all over the country. And with other programs, healthcare programs, grants to go to hospitals or caretakers and stuff like. It's just sitting in the bureaucracy because they don't know how to handle it so quickly. They gave them too much money too fast and they can't get it out. See, they could get the IRS money out because that's set up to send checks all the time. Yep. And they have your name and phone number, all that kind of stuff. So I said, yeah, send everybody this check, this one place. But here, this other money, it has to go, the Congress votes on it, and then says, okay, we're going to spend umpteen $trillion, gazillion, or whatever the hell the numbers are. I know it's a lot. And they say, well, it goes to the states. So the states now get the money and they decide how they want to send it out. Then they decide maybe the state and they'll have one system, or they'll send it to counties and the counties will do it. So that's what happened to all this rent grant money. And they've only given out like 20% of the money that they have available. Now that's astounding. I mean, it's a huge, like 40 or $50 billion. Yeah. And actually what happened, there's $46 billion available yet. And that represents one of the biggest infusions of federal housing money in generations. So this kind of money going out is the biggest in generations. But the promise of that help has long since given way to confusion and desperation as national eviction protections lapse, with the vast majority of rental assistance sitting unspent. That's supposed to stop the foreclosures, stop all that kind of stuff. Participating in a crisis Washington had hoped to avoid. So really, they're causing a crisis that they sent money, they voted on money to solve this crisis, and now it's coming anyway because they can't get the goddamn money out. Now, here, that is what the White House officials and members of Congress are asking. Why again we're doing? On Friday, the House Financial Services Committee will hold hearings to examine shortcomings of the fund, known as Emergency Rental Assistance Program. So that's the fund you're looking for. If you put in Emergency Rental Assistance Program, that's what you want. There's a lot of money there. If you owe rent that's still there, it's going to come out eventually. They're not, well, actually, I'll tell you a little later, they may claw it back, but it won't. I mean, they're trying to figure out. The bureaucracy, they want to get that money, because if they get that money out to you, particularly locally, then you're going to vote for them. If they don't give you money, so this is pay to play, or pay to vote. So they want to get the money out so that you vote for them, and that's tough for them to swallow at election time. So they're going to get those, but that's an emergency rental assistance program. If you're not a member of Lesko Help, that's what you want to know. Emergency rental assistance program. So you call your local official, say, hey, where the hell is this goddamn thing? Or where do I apply? God damn it, where? No, be nice. The only way you're going to get stuff from these people is being nice. Okay. Supreme Court decision to strike down the national moratorium on evictions last month has turned a vexing administration problem into a human crisis, placing, and listen to this, at least 2 million renters in immediate danger of eviction, according to one estimate. So 2 million people are now, as of today, depending on what state you're in, because the federal program stopped. They could go and evict people, but there's local programs that can't. And what the White House is doing now is calling judges and nonprofits and all these kind of things. And if you're worried about eviction, let me put something in here. in the you want just shelter. Okay. Go to justshelter.com for legal help about your eviction. Or if you're worried about eviction, because these are, you go by and show your state, they'll have it state by state and all the offices, the free legal help that is available to tell you about your rights for eviction. Because see, what happens is that the landlord wants to scare your pants off you so you get out of there, or they try to evict you or to get out of there because you haven't paid rent anyway. And they could get a hell of a lot more rent if they rent it today than when you signed it. See, rental prices are going up. Did they already give out the tax rebate credit for unemployment? I think so. I think so. I hope to do something on that soon. But go to the IRS website and see what they say. But I think I saw something about that. And when in doubt, remember who you could call. You could try calling the IRS, but you know that's a pain in the ass. But go there first on the website and see what they have, because they usually have portals for everything, and you get the basic. And then if that information is there, call your elected official. That's what they're there for. They're and the federal elected. For the IRS, you call the federal, because they'll work with it better than your local elected official. Okay, let me read you some other parts of this article. Okay. Federal and local officials, housing experts, landlords, and tenants cite an array of problems that slowed the flow of aid, bureaucratic missteps at all levels of the government, erroneous applications, resistance from landlords, the reluctance of local officials to ease eligibility requirements for the poor, difficulty raising awareness, and rental aid even existed, and a steep rise in rents that increased the incentive for kicking out low income people. Okay, so that's really saying uh, the applications were confusing. The applications had big requirements for documentation. It also says the landlords didn't care because they have to be part of the agreement, because I think the money goes to landlords. And so it's the eligibility requirement. And see what apparently this article goes on. Listen to this. More than anything, the failure illustrates the difficulty of trying to build a vast new social program from scratch in under a year, and the inability of policymakers to fully anticipate the challenges of navigating a rental market dominated, listen to this, by mom and pop operators outside the more regulated world of owner occupied housing. See, a lot of people are renting from friends of family or something, and they don't even have an agreement, and on a napkin or whatever. And so that's why they're asking for all this, or proof of you lost wage income, or I don't have any proof. I've been hustling, So all this. So what's happening now, it seems, as we go further into this, that the states and the local jurisdictions are trying to loosen these regulations, so it's easier to get out, faster to get out. See, what they're worried about, if they don't have restrictions, people are going to take advantage of it. Yes, they will. They'll take advantage of everything. And there's a certain amount of people who do that. We asked state and local governments to do something they'd never done before, said Vicharenna, professor or whatever. They had to design large programs with complex systems, in real time, and at the same time, we're expecting these programs to resolve long-standing problems in the housing market. In other words, our housing market is so screwed up. People, can't get housing. It's so expensive and everything. And we expect this, to solve all the problems, with a huge thing that nobody's set up to do. Rental housing presents unique difficulties for the government. Many tenants do not have official leases, subleasing apartments from friends, renting rooms with strangers, or living in illegal units. That makes them hard to find and harder to help, because most aid programs are generated to the formal rental market, which for the most vulnerable families doesn't exist. In other words, what they're saying is that the people who need this money first are not in normal rental places. They're paying off the books, off the records, off the this, and they can't get covered. And so they it's a bureaucratic nightmare. We're all seeing tenants with rental agreements on napkins, right? That's where I read that. Over the past few months, the White House and Treasury Department have been racing to deal with the program's problems, repeatedly revising deadlines to allow tenants to receive payments with a minimum of documentation, while enlisting state judges and even law school students to help tenants defray or prevent evictions. Okay, a couple of things in there. One, okay, just shelter, that's your legal help. Okay, to delay your eviction, that's legal help. And SBA grant, I think you're a scam. I'm sorry. How do I get rid of this guy? High user on this side. You're pretending you're an SBA or something. I don't know. You're asking for people the money to do something. None of my sources I give out. I don't ask for money. Okay. That was something on the chat. If you missed that, this guy got an SBA grant. You delete him. Yeah. Message deleted. Yeah, he's all over, and yeah, there's too many people that come on my website and take the people watch me and going to sell them something that is free. You know, I'm saying everything website you get from me will be free. So if ever you get anybody saying, "Hey, Matthew told me," or they said, "Matthew recommended me," it's shit. I don't recommend anybody who's asking money from me. So don't ever do that. Okay, where are we? Okay, Judge. Okay. Gene Sperling, who is in charge of overseeing pandemic relief programs for President Biden, estimated that despite the shortcomings of rental aid so far, about 40% of vulnerable tenants in the country are either receiving assistance or temporarily protected from eviction by state and local moratoriums. Okay. So they're saying they got some out and you're still protected. And that's why to call just shelter to make sure that you have, you know your rights, because that's it. See, they're going to come. People want to get you out of there. They're going to do every legal loophole in the book, so you don't show up and say, "Oh, okay, if that's the law, I understand." No, you can't do that nowadays. People are going to surprising people. Some people will actually lie to you. The nerve of people. Actually lie in public. Wouldn't you know? Oh my God. What will the nuns say to that? I think they were lying to me too. Essentially had to invent, they all had to invent a new system. Okay, here. This was the moment when officials first understood how much different low-income rental market was from other housing markets. In addition to subleases, subleases, roommates, and stuff like that, there's no agreement. The original person has it. Okay. Whose claim to space often isn't documented or known by the landlord. There is also a vast market for illegal units. Listen to this. In Los Angeles County alone, for instance, there is an estimated 200,000 illegal units. Okay, so if you're renting something in an illegal unit, do you think that landlord is going to work with the government to get the money? Shit, no, he's illegal. He may go to jail. So I mean, it's just the naivety. Because I think one of the problems is the people who make up these laws never rented anything in their life. How would they know? The state has now made many of the same adjustments. So some states, here, California started with a statewide rental program earlier this year. It made many of the same mistakes that the city and county governments had before. So see, you also have state, city, county rental programs too. So besides the Biden program here that this is talking about, there's other local programs from your state, city, county, and nonprofit. So you have to still. So if this doesn't work out, or you're waiting for it, start looking other places too, because there's other stuff. You just have to dig harder, man. You dig it. You have to dig it to get it. You have to dig it to get it. I'm always looking for little catchphrases. It made many of the same mistakes the city government. Unwieldy documentation, inability to help tenants with subleases, and a clause that, listen to this, participating landlords had to forgive 20% of the back rent. So the landlord, to get the whole money from you, had to say, okay, I'm going to forgive them 20% of what they owe. well, man, he could probably kick you out and, and get higher rent. They'll cover all that, So it's a mess. But anyway, they're working on it. And immediate threat, it's both treasury unspent cash. Oh, this is interesting. The administration has an additional leverage against the lagger. So the administration that gave them all this money to spend, okay, now they have another way to make sure they spend this money faster. The immediate threat of eviction crises that will hit both red and blue states. And the provision in the funding bill, listen to this, they put in a provision in the money that the states and the county governments are getting from the federal. The federal government says now that that it allows the Treasury Department to take back the money by the end of this month. You hear that? In other words, if your city and state does not pay out this grant money, they're sitting on billions and billions and billions and billions of money that you could use to pay rent. Okay, the government's going to take it back. So the federal government's going to take that back, man. And now, what local government wants to give that money back? First of all, they want to be like Santa Claus and give out money, right? So that you vote for him. Oh, that guy got my rent paid. So, and not be the guy who said, oh, shit, that guy got me evicted. There was rent money there for me, so I wouldn't be evicted. And he didn't act fast enough to give me the money. You going to vote for him or her or it or they or them or whatever they call themselves nowadays? That's why they have a hell of a motive now. So, and also, if you applied before and they said no, apply again because the rules are changing. They're making it easier to give out the money because if they don't get it out, they got to give it back. And that's no fun. Who wants to do that? If the IRS said, okay, by accident, we gave you an extra $1,000, but if you don't spend it by the end of the month, you got to give it back. Shit, you're going to be I don't know what you're going to be buying, but you're going to fill up the basement, aren't you? Just apply as a tenant and see what happens. Yes, only people can answer that. Yeah. That's right, Mo. There's Mo. Dental all smile. That's Mo. She's an angel out there flying around trying to do good stuff for people. So let her do stuff for you because she certainly helps me. Okay, that's a clawback. Oh, here's a mayor in Louisville, Kentucky. I think this is the only place in America that did it right, which has already distributed almost all of its funding to tenants and landlords. Okay, this is Louisville, Kentucky. And he says the key to the city's success was developing a non-conventional application form that required a minimum of documentation. 2 pay stubs were sufficient to prove annual income, for instance. That was it. So that's why you ain't getting the money. That's why people waiting so long. People applied like in March. They had this money back in March. Some of it they had it back in December because it's just been piling up. Yeah, it's crazy. How can I help my uncle with right? Same thing. Your uncle rental assistance. Okay, he's going to help it. Now, the way to get other money. See, now your vet. There is something called a county veterans. Google the County Veteran Service Office and put the name of your county. Now that's a good like one-on-one personal help you could get in filling out forms for vets, and they get more government grants than anybody else. Anybody else helping veterans anyway that I've seen, and that's where to go. Now, don't forget there's other rental programs, okay? And your other person, what you do is you get a list, you find out where that emergency rental assistance program is where you live. Call your elected official, say, hey, where do I apply for emergency rental assistance program? There's a couple of lists. If you put that in Google, you can probably find a nonprofit, a housing association or something. They have that. The other place is your elected official. When in doubt, they're there. And don't forget, you could call 10 of them. You don't have to just call one and wait for them to come. Nah, go down the line. Shit, you don't have time. If you want to be polite and wait a day or two and see, and then go down the list, fine, whatever you say. But when you call, be polite. This is all a people business. Getting help, getting the bureaucrats to work because you're not paying them. See, if you find somebody on Google to help you with something, they want money from you, so they're going to be nice no matter what you say. You call them an asshole, they'll have an answer why. Oh, yes, I understand. It could be interpreted that way. I'm sorry you're offended, but no, we do have a program that I'm sure can solve every problem you've ever had in your life. And really, it is at such a fair price. You have never seen a price so fair in all of America. So you can call them a shithead anything you want. They're going to still try to sell you. But remember, on the federal government or elected officials, actually, elected officials, you have more power because you have a vote. The officials you call in the government, they get the same paycheck no matter what the hell they say to you, you say to them, or whatever. And they could work for you for free for 2 weeks and still get the same paycheck. And if you're nice, they'd rather work for you and help you than spend some time on the phone for some idiot who's yelling at them, right? So that's why you want. So when they answer the phone, you say, hey, boy, you must have a busy day today. It was so hard to get through. I feel sorry for you that you have to put up with all these calls. Too bad. But I have a problem I wonder you could help me with. And that's how you start. You don't say, hey, I finally got through, you son of a bitch. Now, where the hell is my grant? You don't sound like the highlight of anybody's day. So you can't act like that. You want to. I do too, particularly when I get a call from Comcast or somebody like that. But have fun with it, and the help is there. And start, sure, you shouldn't have to do that. Sure. And it is. But this is what reality is, and you don't want to play, that's fine. You could sit and be miserable. But if you want to play and try to use the system, changing the system means voting, takes a long time and things like that. But if you have an emergency problem or problems you're trying to solve, financial problems, is you got to figure out the system and use it. The system wasn't built the way you think it should be. Nobody before they made laws said, hey, let's give Charlie in Nebraska a call. I don't know if he's going to be happy with what we did here. Hello, Charlie. We have a bill sitting here in Congress we're thinking of passing through. We're not sure how this feel, how you feel about this, if it's going to screw you up or if it's easy enough for you. Nobody does that, right? Supposedly they do because through your elected official, but shit, it doesn't happen that way. So that's what we have to use, what we got. If you don't want to use it, fine. If you want to change it, okay, that's another system. I don't help you with that. I just help you try to use what we got. And I think that's a survival game. If this was the only food, man, you need the food to survive. If you don't need this to survive, man, okay, you do something else until the one. Go back, watch the ball game. It's all about manners. Age, and no one hasn't been discovered yet. What is that? I don't know. Lifetime effort. I'm still trying to guess what planet you're visiting from. Asian Petty, you mean me or Mo? What planet? No, this personality came because it's really me. And when I got out of college and trying to get a job, I was trying to be everything everybody else told me. I wasn't having fun and I was failing. I said, fuck this. That's no fun. And nobody cares if I fail. So that gave me carte blanche to be me. And when I started being me, man, things worked a hell of a lot better. And that's why my kids and everybody, that's the key in life, is trying to not try to be someone else, because that changes your insides. And I think that even causes disease. I have no scientific evidence for that. But, where do we get all the headaches, pressure and stress and everything? For doing stuff that is not natural for us. If you're natural in what you do, and then you're not fighting everything, you're just being you, and if you have to go in a job and not be you for 8 hours a day, that's purgatory or something. Jail. And no wonder you're miserable, because you come home and you had to pretend you're not somebody. And I think we're all lovable if we're ourselves. or trying to be something else, that's hard to be lovable, and then I think that's what we really want more than anything is being loved and accepted, and stuff like that. And, we're trying to be something else. I mean, you smell a rat eventually if you're so desperate or something, you'll ignore it, and that's what happens. And that's why these people that come on our discussions or whatever, I mean, they know that a lot of people out there are desperate to get money, so they'll make it sound easy as hell for you to get money, and it's not easy. I mean, it can be, but that you'll get easy by accident. Easy is an accident. Most of it is going to be difficult and process, but it's not. It's not like uh, a tooth extraction or anything like that. No, it's just a system to learn. There's no magic to it. Everybody wants it. The 7 steps to this. No, the 7 steps. There's only 2: try and fail, then try again. That's all you have to do. There's no steps to doing anything. Yeah, and people are afraid to fail. I mean, I was too. And so I'm afraid to try. That's why if you're afraid to fail, uh, and that leads to afraid to try, then you'll look for the answers. You'll say, okay, who could help me so I don't fail, right? And you'll go and pay as much money as you have to anybody who promises you. Oh, and some of these people lie. And it really, maybe it worked for them or somebody else, and maybe you can learn something a little bit from them, but all in all, you probably won't, and you just waste money. And that's why if you have money and you could waste it, fuck, do anything you want. I mean, who am I to say? I don't really know for sure. But if you don't have money, then you're just going to wind up getting worse off than you started with. That's why it's so important. That's why I have Lesko Help, to try to show people the options to try things that do not cost money, because then you have no downside. These people that say, invest in real estate and just give me $30,000. Oh, was that Trump? Yeah. Government programs. Yeah, you can learn all that without spending anybody money. And there's organizations that help for free and everything. And so take the time to learn. If you have that fear of failing, then that's when the scammers and everybody could get you, because it's your fear. And it plays a mind too. It's a human condition that we all have to live with, but try to overcome. And the only way you overcome that is by going out and trying and trying and trying again. So you start learning, okay, I'm going to have to make not 1 or 2 calls to get my money. I may have to make 20 or 30 calls to get my money. That's life. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're going to get caught in by these other people, that are going to say, give me $500, $300, whatever the heck it is, and you'll have it a lot easier. Nah. Well, like I say, if you have $300 you're not going to miss, who am I to say? But it's likely probably not going to. I've been studying this stuff 35, 45 years or something like that, and seen it all. So it's important. Mo, I'm on the chat. I want to make sure nobody's selling anything on there. So make sure you see that nobody or anybody on the chat, anybody sends you anything and they're asking for your email or telling to call them or whatever. If they're paying money, if they're charging money, they have nothing at all to do with me. I will not endorse anybody that charges you money. I want this to be a place where you only find people that give you money, not take your money. That's why anything on the chat or anything that telling you to contact them, they're obviously if they're spending time doing this, they're more likely going to want to get money from you. And that's why as a member, we could get rid of them. Here we can't. This is open market, freedom of speech and stuff like that. But members, that's why and the members help them. Like Mo here, Dental All Smiles. I mean, she's just there in Lesko Help, just helping people, like she is now. And it's important that we all help each other, not try to take advantage of each other. I mean, that's a zero-sum game, and that's not fair. I think we could grow better. Sorry to hear that that trusting people isn't safe anymore anywhere. Then we got Mr. Lesko, a true individual, for what? To be like, oh, Asian petty. Oh, awfully nice of you to say that. See, okay, now somebody just said hello, everyone, and it's it looks like me, right? Look at the symbol for whatever you call it. That's not me. I didn't write that shit. Yeah. Okay, Matthew Lesko. We don't want Matthew Lesko in Matthew Lesko. Okay. And you're full of shit, Mr. Lesko. Hide user on this. Okay. Boy, see how easy it is? I don't know how they do it. I don't have the time to figure it out. They have nothing better to do than figure out how to best to scam people. Yeah. And it's terrible, and it's hard. So, I mean, the only way I can get rid of it is not have a chat, not have description. Sometimes I do that, but then I lose information that helpful for me, in that sense. So we got to put up a couple assholes, yeah. And that's I just want to educate everybody that anybody who asks to contact you or asks to contact them, that's not me. That's not anybody that I work with or anything like that. That's just somebody who's after you for. As a scammer, yeah, and is not to be paid attention to is really what that boils to. But there's another article today on healthcare providers. Okay, now here's another thing. Okay, what is the most important thing going on in our country right now? Healthcare, right? Now, Congress last year allowed, like, I don't know, $100 billion or something like that. They're finally giving that money out. This is a year. Hospitals have been screaming, things like this. An announcement from the Department of Health and Human Services said that $17 billion were to be distributed to healthcare providers to help them cope with the extra expenses and loss of revenue, with smaller facilities and practice being paid more generously than larger healthcare. The money represents most, but not all, of the amount ever allotted from the $178 billion designated last year as part of the pandemic laws. So they voted last year. So it was September and last year. So wow, it's almost a year ago. They voted for this money, and they're just sending it terrible. And the money now. So all these hospitals. I mean, the frontline workers and that are there, and they don't have. I mean, to me, that seems like the biggest problem with the pandemic now is, what the hospitals and healthcare system has to do. So a lot of the other stuff is toe, not trope. Okay. So, any questions before I leave? Because I got a grandchild that I got to take back to his dad, which is my son, who broke his leg playing touch football on the beach after he did a 30-mile run. And they put a pin in his leg. And so we take his child for a while. I was wondering if I'm staying in a hotel, I'm able to get, yes, try it anyway. What the hell? I don't know for sure. Nobody does. You just apply. That's the name of the game. Call, apply. 3 words. That's what you have to know. And just find out where it is, because they also have utility money. Now, the other sweet Eskimo flower. Oh, cute. Yes, apply. And then if they say no, say, okay, where else can I go? Because that's what you want to know. And there's to find the financial assistance. Again, I mean, there's 2 places you could start for the local. I just did a video on 211.org. And I'm going to do another one soon on findhelp.org, and look for your call your local community actions agency. Okay, so they're the people you want to contact. Go 211, find help, and your community action agency. And members just will give you a list of all the offices in your state that help people with financial trouble. And what you really have to do is go down the list. Application skills extraordinary. You don't need to know about filling application. I don't know why people are so involved. Forget about the application. Don't worry about the application until you see it. You see an application that you could apply for, that makes sense for you to apply for. Don't worry about it. Anything to do with applications until you see, like, okay, you need rent. It's there. You talk to people. Do I look like I'm eligible? And you talk to them, and you can't get to them, so you fill it out anyway. Okay. If you have a trouble, they'll help you fill it out. If not, you go to 211, you call your elected official. Your elected official, say, I need help filling out an application. But don't look for help filling out applications before you have an application, because 90% of them are just 2-3 pages, fill in the blanks, and that's it. If you have a learning disability, then that's different. But don't people worry about that too much, because you heard something in the folklore about grants. And true, the big grants for nonprofit agencies are complicated, but these aren't. These are just, bim bam, thank you, ma'am, kind of grants. And if you remember, I have a report that shows you samples, that shows you everything about that thing. To me, getting anything to do with somebody to help you fill out that application before you have one, to me, is like getting a prom dress before you're invited to the prom. And actually, most of the programs that give out money, except that these that are so busy now, help you fill it out. Well, even like the EDIL, now that they have 800 numbers there, you could talk to them. You may have to wait online for a while, but what the hell? Are you going to pay somebody $200? No, that's silly. Wait online for a half hour. The application says I have to have a lease. Well, that's what I mean. They're trying to change that now, or get a lease from your landlord, if that makes sense. And when in doubt, the other agency, there's 2 agencies that will help you one-on-one. One is a community action agency. So find your local community action agency. You could call 211 and ask them where that is. And the next is your HUD housing counselor. And if you go to HUD.gov and put housing counselors, and there'll be a list of all the housing counselors in your area. You call them up and ask for an appointment. They're free, unless you're a rich kid or something. Matthew, you send a Gmail with information on my grants received. Hi, I sent you a Gmail with information on my grants received. Oh, you did, Norma? When? What's your email? Or oh, yes, I'd like to know. Oh gosh, could you send it again now so I could look in today's? I got so much mail. Did you send it to Lesko Free Radio? And is it from Norma? Should I look for Norma? Yeah, oh, I'd love to see. I remember talking to you, Norma. Yeah, I want to help you. I send you. Yeah, yes, please don't lose me, okay, Norma, please. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me just. I'm gonna look now. My mind will go somewhere else. Sorry. I'm gonna search my email for Norma. August 23. Oh my God. Oh, good. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, where the hell is my? Oh, Norma, I found you. Wonderful. Oh, so nice. I was like, oh, you did. Oh, wonderful. I didn't see that. Okay, I found them. Wonderful. Uh, well, you're so sweet to do that. I know it doesn't do you good, but I hope it'll inspire other people. Because if people see normal people sort of getting this, I mean, a guy dresses like a clown on TV or whatever, you can't trust him. Are there home buyers financial assistance? Absolutely, man. There's bunches of that. We'll send you. Let's go for you. We'll send you to a message, the group messenger. Uh, where's that, Elizabeth? What you mean in Let's Go Help? Uh, I will see it sent through an email, and I was told to message in the group. Well, actually, I'm not. It all depends. I mean, people try to protect me. In Virginia, they have fun. Yeah, there's lots. Um, and again, where to go is there's two places. Is the HUD counselors and an organization called Neighborhood Works. Look for them, and they have local offices usually all over the country. And I got 2 grants out of 3. And they and they'll sit down with you, and they know. See, they don't charge you. Anybody else you're going to look for buying a house, somebody's getting a percentage of something, and if somebody's getting a percentage of something to earn their living, they're going to steer you, no matter how nice they think they are. It's just human nature. Uh, Norman, thank you so much. How can someone in Southern California get help? It depends on what the help it is. How do I become a member, Matt? A member, Matthew. Mo, is that you? You're asking me how to be a member? What are you doing? That's not Mo. Are you not Mo? Dental all smiles. Oh, it got me worried here now. So where's the best place to reach you besides this live? I hope your son here. Yeah, he's fine. I have your book, Sean. Where do I find home buyers money for closing costs? Well, if it's a book, probably it'll be hard. But again, those two sources, are play. I mean, there's 2 dozen places. Every county, every city and county has over 150 housing programs. And that's right. Okay, so that is you, Mo. Okay. uh, and on a way to reach me on Let's Go Help is start a discussion, not a message, a discussion. So if you start a discussion, I read every one of those discussions. And that's what I just did a video that up as a good money for startups. It's only $10,000, but that's a lot, and it's for people who want to start a business online, an online business, and it comes from Alibaba and the thieves. Rent grant. Okay, you'll have to go back and read the beginning, listen to the beginning of this. We covered that for the last 45 minutes. Wow, Norma's, that's great. Yes, Elizabeth, how can I help you? Did you write me how I to help you? All right, gotcha. Will do. You'll send me either on Let's Go free radio, and sometimes it gets lost, and so just yell at me after 2 days. Or a better way is on the Facebook group, the closed Facebook group, Let's Go Help, and start a new discussion, and I see all those. Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody out there who have been so nice to me. I just don't feel I deserve it. You don't know me like I know me, and it makes my life so wonderful. And it's because of you. It was for you allowing me to help you, and you using kind words. Um, I maybe I'm just a silly old man or whatever. But it's wonderful, and I don't think I've ever been so happy in my whole life as right now. Uh, and it's really you giving me an opportunity to help you. I mean, I truly believe there's nothing better in life, you know, than to have an opportunity to help somebody. And we all know that. But first of all, we have to take care of ourselves first. So nobody has to take care of us, right? And then how do we help other people? And that's why, to me, the secret of life is realizing that it's selfish as hell to give. And that's pretty good. Okay, guys, I gotta go get the grandkid. I gotta help him visit. And it's fun. You know what's neat about having a 1.5-year-old? He hasn't heard any of my tacky jokes yet. So it's a whole new audience to be crazy with. In 2 years, he'll think I'm an idiot and be bored with my antics. Yeah, that's a new audience. Wow. And actually, it encourages me to get new material too, because doing things. I always work on on the spur of the moment. That's where I got my best stuff. If I have to plan and think, then I'm editing, and it's not coming from the heart. That's why spur of the moment comes from the heart. And that's why this is from the heart. I just appreciate every single letter of kind words that you do in the chat or anywhere else. Boy, that's going to keep me alive forever. I'm going to be with it. You'll get sick of me soon, just like an ex-wife. Okay, well, thank you so much. I appreciate you very much.